We want you to have a great time while you're visiting us here in the high country, but we want you to also be safe. And so this morning we have Vail Mountain Rescue on. Dan Smith, and your mission is not just rescue, but also education and training.
We try and cut down our workload. It's something we really like to do. We've never succeeded. Human beings are human beings.
Well, this is a particularly dangerous time right now. We were just talking about the recent snows on a relatively weak layer beneath it.
Yeah, and if you look at Colorado Avalanche Information Center, which you should look at before you go in the backcountry, right now it's low to moderate, depending on where you are in tree line and what aspect ratio. North to east, I think, is the ratios right now. That low to moderate is a false positive for people.
Yeah.
They think low to moderate means none.
Right.
It doesn't. We have had a lot of wind. We have a persistent weak layer, basically a sheet of granular snow or just ice that this other snow is resting on. Right now it holds together because it's kind of damp. It'll eventually hold together very well as it compacts. But right now it's not compacted. And if you trigger it, if you come around a rock that you don't see, it's buried under the snow, to a weak spot and you hit it, that avalanche is going to run, you're going to be in it. The problem with low to moderate is you don't think about that.
Yeah.
When the danger is high to extreme, you think about that.
So I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but I'm wondering if you can address the role of wind in creating a higher avalanche danger.
Well, that's what happens. That's why it's north to east. The wind has come from the west. It's pushed snow over the top and has built up layers of snow. Wind will blow snow into gullies, into small pockets, into where roads go across. And that snow builds up. It's not the level. It's much deeper than the level. And any event can trigger it. Most events, I mean, thousands of avalanches happen every season that nobody sees. And a few hundred that people see from across the road see this avalanche run, and a few, a very small number, that people are involved in. The human-triggered avalanche is a snow machine that's high-pointing. I mean, you look at a cornice up above you and, oh, let's play the game and see how high we can get. That's not a very bright game, because you will find out how high you can get when the snow releases and you go for a ride. Most people who die in avalanches die from blunt force trauma, which is far preferable to suffocating to death, but preferable still not to be caught in the avalanche.
Right.
We always get asked the question, well, how can I best survive an avalanche? Well, there's only one sure way. Don't be in it.
Yeah.
I mean, the float bags work, avalungs work a certain percentage of the time.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's 100% is don't get caught. The group dynamics is one of the worst drivers. People work and work and work to get up to a slope like Geneva Peak. It's one of my favorite ones. And then they've got so much invested. They do dig their pit and they look at the layers and they find that persistent layer. Or they do a jump test. You just, on your skis, put your weight on your poles, jump up, come back down. If it cracks out the front and back of your skis, that's a pretty good sign. If you're climbing along in your skins and you keep hearing this whomp sound, that's a pretty good sign. That's an avalanche letting go someplace.
Okay.
You want to turn around.
Yeah.
Enjoy the view, have your hot chocolate out of your pack, eat your sandwich, and go back down the way you came in the trees.
And live to play another day.
Live to play. The mountains have been here for millennia. They will be here for millennia more. The question is, will you be here to enjoy them?
Dan, we've got more to talk about in the show. We'll be right back.
Great.
We'll be right back. We've got more to talk about with Dan Smith of Vail Mountain Rescue.